When I was younger, I remember being fascinated with the furthermost point of a video game's map, be them the awkward dense forest that's surrounding the early Pokemon games, a seemingly endless ocean, or even the disappointing invisible wall at the edge of what was reachable. It has always had a hold on my imagination. I remember thinking of the wonders and horrors that might be hidden in the corners of the map that no player was ever meant to traverse. What lies beyond the forests that surround and explore areas of Kanto? What horrible beings might lie beyond the paved streets of Jarham? And after the border of the world in Minecraft, does the procedural engine keep constructing endless biomes to explore, or, as legend had it, does it degenerate into nonsensical chaos, spawning with markedly unnatural terrains? Today in Rebel Culture, we will talk about the ever-intense draw of the edge of the map, the corners of existence for the many characters that inhabit these playable worlds, and why no matter how big the map is, we want to go further. So thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to hit that like button and consider subscribing. We're a new channel, and each and every one of you is of tremendous help. But with all of that being said, venture with me to the corners of the universe, the lands that were not meant to be treaded, the edge of existence. I was a child in the early 2000s, and that means only one thing when it comes to exploring a video game world: internet theories. I markedly remember the many theories that spoke about the secret train in Hoenn, just a couple of minutes of walking past a thick forest, and how it would connect with Johto and Kanto in the third generation of Pokemon games. I remember watching YouTube videos that explain how to break free from physical limitations and collision programming through traverse the verdant wall around the map, and in so doing reach the promised land of the first two generations of games. Of course, this was a lie, and there are essentially no ways of natively eliminating collision in Pokemon games that haven't been tampered with, but the appeal of those forests still remain, as if between their branches I could see the smoke of that forgotten locomotive, tempting me to try and do it. Edges of the map, like the ones found in Pokemon, exist to naturally limit the space a game can reach. Beyond the map there is essentially nothing. Just an empty void with a couple of scattered assets loaded in for good measure, since the developer never thought that the player might reach them anyways. I believe the edges of a video game map are inadvertently a game's most interminable source of mystery, because the rest of that game's world is purposefully created to incite exploration and reward clever thinking. But then it presents the player it has educated to be inquisitive with the true edge of existence, a wall that cannot be crossed. Of course, we can logically understand that a game cannot go on forever. Not even a game procedurally generated like Minecraft can extend ad infinitum. The amount of resources required to run, store, and process the map information will increase to a point where very few computers will be able to run the game in question. But logic goes out the window when the possibility of magic is present. So we endure. We painstakingly recreate the random set of requirements we found in a grainy-looking YouTube video. We push against the established logic of the game. 3 steps to the left, carrying only 3 Super Balls in your bag. Mount your bike and dismount 5 times. Go to your Pokemon party and use Flash. And then, nothing happens. Of course it doesn't. The edge of the map is not a mystery to solve. It is a fundamental necessity of game developing. But the human brain does not deal well with rejections and unanswered questions. So, if it is the source code of the game that is limiting me, if it is the will of the developer gods that I have to face to reach my destiny, I will do so. The games of psychotic Simon Says are over. No more steps to the left or random use of objects. Get out the Game Shark and the whiskey. This is about to get crazy. If you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing to this channel. We'd really appreciate it, so thank you. And now, we can continue. Game Shark was one of the ancient tools that we used to alter a game's operational code and get a series of results. For example, in Pokemon, you could use it to remove collision of your character, escape the starting town without a Pokemon, or if you're 10-year-old me, get a whole team of level 100 Mewtwo's before the first gym and laugh as you obliterate Brock. But among the many dumb things that these cheating devices allowed, was the ability to break away from the limited map the developers intended you to follow. Once collision is removed, your character can essentially clip through the entire map and reach corners of the world that were never meant to be seen by players. And it is at this point that curiosity proves again to be humanity's downfall. Let me tell you a story. I asked my dad to help me set up the Game Shark tool and start messing around with it. After getting the team of Mewtwo's, then I decide to face the edge of the map. I turn a Boolean variable from true to false, and soon my character can simply clip through objects. It is fascinating, but it is also a bit scary. This is not the way it should be played at all, so I no longer feel like a character in a story, but instead like a god in human's clothing, hoping I don't get caught and punished by the even more powerful gods that are the devs of this world. As I take my first steps into the forever forest that covers the world beyond the map, I do so carefully. In each step I am certain something bad will happen. I will creep through the floor into the endless abyss of the void. I will be caught by one of the monsters that I have read in a forum lurk outside the naturally reachable world. Those abominable beings that were so cursed as to find no place in the Pokédex. But nothing happens. Well, not nothing. The trees begin to become misshapen, as if the nature in this corner of the world was somehow poisoned. And eventually, I see what looks like a path. I'm perturbed by worries. I venture towards that path, and I finally manage to reach a city. Its layout is simple, but you can walk through it. I then see an NPC, but when I go and talk to her, she either says something meaningless or nothing at all. Both things completely improper for a woman lost in a ruined city in the middle of the woods. The doors of the houses peppering the city are all locked, so there is no way to explore further, and therefore I decide to leave. But soon, everything breaks down. A couple of steps in front of me, towards the north end of the city, the textures of the buildings begin to come cursed mixtures of other assets I remember seeing in the game. Broken counters appear where windows should be. The in-game sprites of Pokemon start popping through the floor. A tail here, an eye there. I get scared. What is this place? I decide to run away from that city, but it seems like it is too late. I have angered the true gods of this world, and I get lost in the endless and nondescript forest of the edge of the map. My little 10-year-old heart is pumping, and I don't know how to return to the normal world. I turn off my console. I put it under a pillow. Another boy burned by curiosity. Another careless explorer of the horrors beyond the edge of the map. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to Rebel Culture. Otherwise, you can check out some of these other videos. And I will see you in the next one.